Welcome to Archetype Aperture. I am Jim, one of the hosts of this show. Because I say one of the hosts of the show, Marcus has been a host on this show as well. If you don't know Marcus, this is Marcus.
This is who I am, guys.
Marcus, what are we going with Alan Cadell?
Marcus Cadell at the Hollywood Mac on Instagram.
Hollywood Mac.
Yeah, make sure you follow me, man.
Yeah, go over and give him a look-see. Marcus and I just collaborated on something we thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we thought that we would sit down and kind of talk about it today on the podcast. Now, we'll give a disclaimer right up front. If you're listening to the audio on this podcast and you're not watching the YouTube video, there will be some stuff. You might get a little confused because we're going to talk about some stuff, which is, great, but we're going to also be showing some things as well. And we're going to we're going to premiere our collaboration video, our short film, here on the podcast. So might be something to go over and check out, and let us know what you think. But we got together today to talk about like how this all came about. How we came to the idea or the conclusion that we needed to collaborate together on this, and I think you and I are pretty much like-minded in the way that we have a lot of creative juices flowing inside of our bodies.
Oh,
and
definitely.
I think that it was a phone call.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you called me and we were just talking, and when you get two people that are creative together, it's very difficult to shut us up.
Yeah, because I remember when we were talking about the idea and I was pitching like little one sentence ideas, and you're like, "Oh man, my head is already
it's already
spinning. I already know what I want to do. Let's do it."
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then you bounced an idea off of me.
Yep.
I bounced an idea off of you, and we said, "Hey man, we have to do this. Let's try it."
It's always interesting, and I think of course, as the saying goes, two heads are better than one.
Absolutely.
And when you get two creatives together and you start bouncing ideas off of each other, I think that's how magic happens.
Yes.
Honestly.
And I actually think we caught magic in a bottle with this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree 110%.
I like it.
I know. I love it. I don't just like it. I love it. And it was fun to shoot. It was interesting for me. The thing that was interesting for me is that when I shoot something, whatever it may be, whether it's a vlog or, one of these, sit down talking head videos,
yes.
I'm usually the one to edit it. So the fact that I just handed it off to you kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Well, I'm sure it did, man, but it made me feel like, yes, you know what I mean? Well, I couldn't wait to go home and put it on my computer and upload the footage and see what it looked like. And
yeah.
Damn, I mean, the footage that you shot was awesome, man.
Yeah, I've seen, I trusted you enough to give you the footage to edit because I've seen the footage that you've edited and the things that you've done. And if you don't know Marcus and you've never gone to his YouTube page, I believe it's Hollywood Mac, right?
Yeah, the Hollywood Mac.
Yeah, the Hollywood Mac, sorry. But if you go over to open up your YouTube app and go on and search the Hollywood Mac, it's a little red logo that says the Hollywood Mac on it. And he does a lot of music videos for local artists here in Jacksonville. And I got to tell you, from the cinematography to the editing process, every time you post something, I'm like blown away.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've always wanted to kind of get into your head and like figure out your process and just watch you. But unfortunately, we both work full-time jobs.
But I mean, that's vice versa too, because I remember when we kind of reconnected after we worked together years ago. I followed you on Facebook, of course, and I seen the photography that you have, and I'm like, damn, this guy has skills in photography.
Thank you.
Has skills in videography, of vlogs. I mean, it all looks really legit, from the lighting to the editing to everything you do. So I mean, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Let me reach back out to Jim, and see what's going on. And it's been a process. Yeah, it has. It's been a process, but it's been a fun one too. So, shooting videos and shooting photos is fun for me. You know what I mean? So
I'm here. I'm always here to help you to better your skills in that arena, and it's very humbling, and I'm always, I don't know how you feel about like compliments, but I'm very awkward about compliments.
Oh, me too. Me too. It's like, come on, man, you're laying it on thick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't know who you're trying to impress, man, but I mean, we're already friends. It's okay.
Yeah.
But no,
But I mean that though. So.
Yeah, when I think when a compliment comes from a friend, because most of the time, if they're your real friend, they'll give you the real. If it sucks, it sucks. If it's good, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And I'm not trying to make you feel awkward by telling you how cool I think you are and how good you are at your craft. And especially for someone that's very, I guess, kind of newish to it.
Oh, definitely new to it. It's not even been a year. I think it's coming up on a year, but I haven't shot that many projects. Probably about 25 projects, I guess. Oh. That's kind of a lot.
I mean, for the projects that you've done in a year, to do 25 videos, music videos, or anything in a year, that's quite a bit. I mean, especially, the year that you started.
COVID, pandemic, in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, in the middle of a pandemic to start something is probably, I assume, it's very difficult.
But that's like when you're sitting there, you're bored, you can't go anywhere, your creative juices just start to go, and they're like, hey, I got to do something to keep myself busy,
Yeah, otherwise you'll go crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the process that we kind of came to, the idea behind the short film. We were both kind of I've had ideas for short films, and as I know you have, because I know we've been talking about collaborating on one of your music videos, to make more of a cinematic music video, to where it's not just a guy singing in front of a car or, in front of a scene or what have you.
Yeah, something a little different.
Right. So a lot of the artists don't want anything like that. So, which is fine, to each their own, but, it's something that I know you always wanted to do, is create something a little more, more.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that, that you can watch and be, intrigue, suspenseful, something
that tells a story.
Yeah, exactly. Something has a start, a peak, and a finish.
Right.
So that's something that when I started off this journey to start doing videography, that was my initial plan to start doing, and I just started shooting rap videos because I thought it was a little bit more easier to practice my skills and editing skills. I mean, in the video, there's a lot of edits in the music videos.
Oh, so. Yeah. But they come with the audio is already ready for you. You don't, all you really have to, because they've recorded the music, and all you really have to do is make sure that the video lines up with the audio.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it might be, one might think it's, oh man, that's so easy. But I got to tell you, like going inside his head.
Man, I kind of learned all that by myself, man, through YouTube, of course, but it's kind of like troubleshooting. So,
yep, YouTube is a great resource.
YouTube University.
That's right. I've always talked about that, on my, on this podcast, on anything that I've ever posted on YouTube, is that, if you don't know something, you're the only person that's stopping you from knowing it. Like I said, you can do whatever you want to do. It's all about learning. And if you can't afford going to a classical school or, somewhere that charges money, YouTube's free. So, I mean, it can't hurt to at least search something and just see, because I've actually learned quite a bit from YouTube as well. I've got people that I watch constantly, specific creators, because it's almost like they cater specifically to people in my level, at my level. But at any rate, this was an interesting journey, and I really am glad that we were able to actually come together today and sit down and talk about it. So we're going to kind of walk through a little bit of our, as far as the storyline, because it's only a 2-minute film. I probably should have got water too. It's only a 2-minute short film, but we knew we wanted to have sort of a beginning, a middle part, and then, an ending. And not every short film has those elements. And after we got done and he edited it, he finished editing it and we posted it up. We decided that, you know what, this short film needs a prequel.
Yeah.
So be looking for that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man.
But so we were like, what the video, if you're confused at all by the video, because, and this is it is another reason that we wanted to do a prequel so that we could kind of lead you into that. But for us, it was a guy who was down on his luck.
Yeah.
He's obviously has a child.
Yeah.
And, you can see the struggle the man's going through.
Yeah.
And, he's
on the streets.
Yeah, he's on the streets.
He's asking for change just to feed himself and his daughter. And as the story goes on, he realizes that he just wants to put a smile on his daughter's face. He buys her a popsicle, and that makes his day. So
yeah,
the title of it's called Anything Helps.
Yep.
And I mean, in this short film, I mean, the little change that they got went a long way because it put a smile on his daughter's face, even though that he's down and out.
Yeah.
He still has this little girl to take care of, and he still wants to see her play like a little girl and have popsicles and things like that. So
because when children are young, they don't think about, they're just outside.
Yeah.
They don't think about the fact that they don't have, a home or whatever, and, I don't think that in our brains, I don't think that like the idea was to make that child feel like she was homeless or whatever,
No.
But I could see the struggle, what we were trying to convey was the struggle in that man's face.
Yeah.
Because maybe he felt like he was a disappointment to his child, but you see her smiling, playing, having a good time. She just was happy to be around her father. As adults and
With
parents,
kids,
we always think about those type of things.
Absolutely.
And I'll be honest, there's times that, this whole process, this short film that we made, it opened my eyes to a certain way that I may have been and may have thought about, and, a thought process that I may have had in the past.
Me too.
I mean, I'm pretty quick, when you're out on the road and you're at a exit ramp and you're waiting to get on or whatever, or off rather, and there's a guy standing there with a sign or a girl.
What's your first thought?
I just can't wait for the light to turn green so I can go. Now I'm sure there are people out there that, this is their whole income, but there are people that you just never know their story, and that's one of the thought process that I went through in shooting this was you just never know someone's story. This guy could have been, a very successful, whatever.
And the COVID-19 happened, the pandemic. He may have lost his job, his wife, or whatever. I mean, who knows? He's still
downsizing. Yeah. Anything could have happened. But when we walk through the streets and we see people asking for help, I don't ever carry cash.
No.
I stopped carrying cash when I was really young, and that was when I was playing in a band downtown. I ran into those type of people all the time asking for money. And so I just decided then, I was like, I'm not going to carry cash anymore, but I feel like now after doing this project, I might change my thought process.
I definitely, my thought process has definitely changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this film will kind of open your eyes up,
Yeah.
Some people really need it, and some people, just that little bit of change goes a long way.
Yeah.
Even if you can't give them change. If you have some food or something, fast food, if you feel like they're not going to do the right thing with the money that you give them, just...
Well, look, I'll interject right there because
please.
there's sometimes, when I was younger and I ran into these type of people all the time, because I was, like I said, I was downtown by the bus stop, and they're always down there by the bus station here in Jacksonville, unfortunately. But I would offer to buy them food, because I was worried that they were going to buy alcohol. And then, I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? It's cold outside. This person doesn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
Who cares what they do with the money? So I started, I would give whatever. I was like, here's, $5.
Anything helps.
Yeah, anything helps. And if they want to get a bottle of Jim Beam or go get some chicken nuggets, it's
helps too.
Completely on them. You know what I mean? But the the theme of this, obviously, we wanted to reach people's hearts and to be impactful. And how do you do that in 2 minutes? It's like really, it's a challenge.
Yeah, it is. It is. But why don't you tell them about the actors in there, how we met up? You know what I mean? And like your creative artist, your creative skills as far as you shooting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How you came up with the shots. How did we piece it together with what we had in front of us?
Well, I see things in my mind. You know, I mean, obviously, we used the people that we used in the film were our families. You know, his wife, his daughter, his son, my girlfriend, and you know, so that made that we had so many people. It made it a little bit easier to kind of, you know, make these visions come to life. But as we were, you know, one of the things that I think that we probably should do in the future when we do it again is we definitely need to come together first, sit down and write
a storyboard or something.
Right, draw up a storyboard, because it was hot outside.
Yeah, it was hot. I think
It was hot.
It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll go a little earlier, or we'll shoot indoors. But yeah, it was definitely not cool. So to be outside in the heat and to have, you know, everybody, all these people with us, we'll just call, even though there are significant others and our people, we'll just call them the actors. But to have all these actors in place and ready to go at any given moment. And you know, we're both out there and we're knocking our heads together trying to think of which scene, for the next shot. You know, and with filming, what I learned is you don't always have to film from beginning to end. You know, because when you're editing, you might say, well, the last shot we edited would be perfect for the beginning. Yeah, which I think you took. One of the shots we took in the middle and put it at the beginning. End. Yeah, you know, and then there was another one. You know, I mean, but that's the beauty and the magic of making films.
I actually like how, you know, when my daughter was doing the cartwheels and everything in the video, that was like a candid shot, you would say. Like, she was just out there having fun, and you had the camera. He was like, hey, just let her do her thing. Yep. And you got that camera on it. That's my favorite shot. Yeah. It is. I think that's a pretty cool one.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's been practicing the cartwheels for like 2 months. I've seen her do like 200,000 cartwheels. But I think that was a really good shot. And even like when she wanted a popsicle at the end, that wasn't in our storyboard.
No. It was just one of them things. Yeah. And I saw it in my head happening, and I said, this has to be in there. Yeah. And, you know, and that's kind of my process. I've never gone to school for videography or, you know, anything of that nature, cinematography, never. So all of these things are things techniques I've learned from YouTube, watching other creators. And, you know, so I said, let me try to do some of these shots, you know, the coming in and out of focus, in the foreground, in the background, you know, interesting camera angles and movements. You know, I want to try all of those things. And
so what was your best shot that you've seen that you did in the video?
I really like the part of the video, the shot of when you were jangling the cup. Did you? You know, and the lady that comes by and her little kid that comes by, and you see her grab her kid up and walk away in like disgust. That was his wife and son. Yeah, that spot, I believe that was my favorite because it showed. First of all, I liked the angle. I liked how everything lined up, and it showed. Kind of like that's real. Yeah, you know, definitely. People look at homeless people or people that are out there asking for money or help
in disgust.
You know, in disgust. You know, they're like, "Oh my God, get a job." What? Back to what we said. You just never know what their story is. You never know. So it made it very interesting for me to do all of this stuff and to see it without editing it, because I had a vision in my head, and I am coincidentally, once he gives me the files.
Yeah, I forgot them, but you'll have them within 24 hours.
That's all right.
I promise.
No worries, man. No hurry. But when I do get the files, I'm going to edit it like how I would edit. But that's not to take away from your edit at all.
Yeah, no, I'm really curious to see what you could do. I'm excited to see, actually, because the better product that we put out there to tell the same story and for the next prequel, I mean, the best product is the one we need to, you know, put out there on
Hey, I think it's less about the best product and more about the story, and that's something I've heard and learned from people that are actually professional, videographers, cinematographers, and things of that nature. Is it doesn't matter what camera you shoot on, it doesn't matter what kind of lens you're using.
It's the story that you tell.
Yeah, can you tell the story? It's how you tell the story.
You told me that multiple times.
Yeah, and that's because this guy's always worried about hitting that 4K. We shot this in 1080p.
Yeah, we did.
30 frames per second, and he loved it.
I did, and I don't know. I loved editing this one more than anything I've ever edited before. For one, it's my first time seeing myself on camera.
Yeah, it's fun.
Which that's always fun to see.
Interesting.
And yeah. Sometimes it's cringy, but I actually really like this. When my daughter, I like to see her on camera too. So that that's a no-brainer. But I never really color graded anything before neither.
Yeah.
Which is because I always like the color that it comes out of the camera, but with this one, I felt like it needed to be like black and white, like we were talking about, and then you told me to leave a little bit of color. Which I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I loved how it was like a fade almost.
Green,
which is interestingly enough, that is that muted look is very popular amongst photographers these days.
Is it?
Yeah, it's almost selective color. It's almost black and white.
It's almost like a pop-up color or something like that. Yeah. Just a few colors come out, like the most vibrant colors in this one that I did.
Yeah, it's I like I said, I think it's like a muted it's like a mute look or whatever. I don't exactly know, but yeah, definitely I loved how you color graded it. I loved how you edited it. Yeah. And I imagine for you editing footage that you didn't know really what it would look like. It was kind of like being in awe and amazement. It's like experiencing Christmas for the first time.
Yeah. Because it's whatever you shoot, whatever you do out in the field, you bring it back home. The first thing you do is put it in the computer to see what it looks like on screen.
Yep.
And you're like, damn, okay, it's either it's out of focus or it's good or it's not good. But this shit was good. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that always makes it better to when you go to edit.
Yeah, there were
it's like less you have to do. You know what I mean? Like we just talked about before we did this podcast. The better you record it, the less editing you have to do.
That's right. One of the things that I was self-conscious about, but I always end up doing this. Like I have all this, we have all together between the two of us, we have enough gear to probably make, I've got the gimbal, we've got
audio,
numerous things. I mean, if we wanted to use, I've got, wheels for my tripods and all this stuff. We could have done a lot of steady shots. Everything was handheld.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but another one of my favorite scenes was the stop sign, the stoplight, how it starts off and it's kind of shaky or whatever, just to go off what you said, because it gives it that like effect.
Yeah.
I really like that part because it's like a dramatic kind of shot.
Yeah, well,
into the story.
That shaky shot, there's actually a preset in Premiere Pro
to give it that
that for people to like, oh, I shot it too steady, and now they give it a shaky look to it. And I'm like, why not just hand hold it, but I always do that. I have all this equipment and then I never end up using it all. It was just easier for me to hand hold it. I don't have to worry about adjusting the gimbal and having it, rotate one way versus the other. But, and it was really hard because I had like a lot of coffee that day.
Yeah, we met at the coffee shop.
I already drank 2 cups of coffee at home, and then we got there. I had another coffee, so my hands were like. So yeah, I knew it was going to have a shake effect to it. But it's funny because, like I said, there's been watching a lot of shows on Netflix, a lot of the newer shows.
Yeah. And
there are shows that that they have a huge budget and they're walking around with steady cams and body rigs and stuff to make sure that the cameras are steady, but they still add this shake effect.
Shaky, yeah.
So I'm just like, I was kind of self-conscious about that at first, but after I saw your edits, I'm like, it looks good. And the more I watch it, the more I fall in love with it. So I think, let's see where we're at on time. Oh, no. That was interesting. Got a phone call right now. We're about 26 minutes in. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually watch the video, and we're going to put it up for you to see as well. We're going to premiere it for you. So without further ado.
Yeah, see, that's the shot I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I did my famous, how'd you call it?
It's your trademark. Your little trademark.
How I rewind the shot.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it.
Yeah,
and
see, I like that.
That's one of your favorite.
Yeah.
And okay, so it's a little bit after this one.
I like how you came behind
the
tree.
Well, that was your idea. Yep, here it comes.
It is. Rewind.
Rewind. Yeah, I've noticed that you do that a lot in your music videos.
I like it, man. This is another one of my favorite shots right here. Right there. And that was your idea right there. That right there, I think it speaks to you, you know what I mean? Without even having no words in it.
Yeah, and that was one of the important things for me is just I didn't really want to have words.
Yeah. I thought about doing a voiceover, but we'll revisit that later.
Yep, there's your wife.
Look at my son.
He's just trying to go see Dad. But, I mean, you did real good with the acting, the facial expression that you gave. And this is hard for me because I don't have a focus puller, so I was doing this manually, this focus pulling.
I think that's been a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Look at her now, she's smiling.
Yeah, she's playing, having a good time, and you're just looking at her stressed out, man. It's, you know, I mean, that's powerful to me.
Frustrated.
Yeah. See, right there, I probably would have cut the scene of you walking down the sidewalk, holding your head.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of give you some frustrated moments.
I think this shot was cool too.
Oh yeah, that was. I'd never tried that before, but you know, just basically cut out a paper cup and stuck it over the lens and just let them draw. I had
I think we should have left some of the change in there, let it build up.
Oh, okay, and just eventually cut it out until it cover up the entire. Yeah, but that was an interesting thing for me. Like I said, it was something new.
Now he finally gets the money.
Yep, and she's over there just playing. You know, like I said, kids are innocent; they don't know. And they're just happy to be around their parents. And
yeah, this was my favorite shot. Absolutely.
Yeah, I liked having her in the foreground and you in the background and coming in and out of focus.
Yeah,
I love this shot. And
me too.
And I the whole shot actually came around you on the left hand side and got some of your the face. But I liked how you cut that. This was an interesting thing. Trying to get you to walk through the camera without actually kicking it or stepping on it.
And at the end, you see, I felt like it wasn't natural because my foot kind of went higher than. I don't know. That's just.
No, it looked good though.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people don't realize, and no one's really going to pay attention to that much to the details like we do. But that is it.
Anything helps.
That is the video. And yes, anything does help.
So, what are your thoughts for the prequel? What?
So I don't want to give anything away for the prequel. I want to keep that kind of, secret.
Yeah.
We'll keep that undercover, under wraps. But what I will, I will ask you is like when the next video I know you were excited to put this thing out, but man, I want to keep it under as long as I can. Let's keep it under wraps so we can make, it gives us time to bounce it back and forth and say, okay, here's what my thoughts on this, like the editing. We need, there's elements obviously that we left out of the first video due to basically creative freedom, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we didn't have the exact tools that we wanted to do what we wanted to do, but we're going to roll credits. We'll do all this, everything that needs to be done. We'll put it in there. Attribution for the music, whatever it takes. And when you're doing something like this, I mean, we're not getting paid for this. It's just something we enjoy doing, and it's just our creative licensing. But I always try to give all the attributes for music or any clips that I use, all that good stuff. But at any rate, those things will be, I think, good elements to add, and then thanking everybody that came out and actually shot with us. So I think I'd like to throw this out there if you're cool with it, but like,
I'm listening.
If anybody that watches this is interested in, maybe giving us a hand and becoming, part of the team, and or like an acting spot or whatever it is, The first cycle, I think, of films, short films for us are going to be silent films. Do you agree? Or
No, I agree. I agree. Short, silent films, 3 minutes long, just so we can,
yeah.
come up with a little bit better.
Well, I mean, we're actually going to have to start writing for scripts if we're going to do scripts.
Yeah. Yes.
And I've seen a lot of indie films and things of that nature, and they're just horrible. And I don't want it to look like that. I don't want the cinematography to be bad. I don't want the dialogue to be bad. But
Hey, well, this is my first one.
Yeah.
Is this your first one?
yeah, it's my first. Well, I do similar style videos like that for like my family. If you go back and listen and watch some of like I did like an Easter film. I think I showed it to your wife. And that's along the same lines of like what we did. It's a little bit longer because I'm kind of a snob about cutting out footage. I don't like cutting footage. If I had all that footage that you had,
you would have used every single bit of it.
It would have probably been a 10-minute video.
See, I was trying to edit to the music. So you know what I mean? So like sometimes if the clip was longer than when that dramatic pause hits, then that's when I would kind of cut it. You know what I mean? And go fade to black.
Well, I think where you and I will come together and actually it'll be better is when you edit the video and you give me any music that you like or want to use, and maybe it's multiple different audio tracks or what have you as far as music, and I can go in Adobe Audition and I can clip that music. I can clip it, cut it, fade it in and out to the scene according to how if it starts out real somber and we want it to fade into something and just explode. Like I can do that in Adobe Audition, which will be cool. And that, like, I get really I was like really excited to try and do that, and that's what I'm going to try and do when I get the footage. I'm going to try and do some of that myself. So at any rate, that is the premiere of our video. Anything helps.
Hey, thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for coming by and thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're listening to the audio version of this on your iTunes or whatever app you listen to podcasts on, we appreciate you. And that's it. Well, you give them your email again.
Email Marcus Cadell at att.net
and
Instagram at the Hollywood Mac, and on YouTube the Hollywood Mac.
And of course, jwmphoto1 at gmail.com, and it's just jwmphoto on Instagram, and it's James Mullis on YouTube. If you're watching the video, you've already found me. So, but if you haven't seen it, go over to Marcus's channel, check out my channel. Anything you like, it would really help if you hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, share it if you like, do all the fun things. We appreciate all of it, but all of this has been for us. And if you benefit from it or enjoy it in any type of way, then we're happy. So that's it for now. See you.